Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Lucille-Ball and Richard Denning in the genesis of what would become I Love Lucy, My Favorite Husband. This episode was originally broadcast March 4th, 1949. B. Benadera plays George's mother. Plans to stay for a little too long.
It's time for My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, it's the new Gay Family series starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning. Brought to you by the Jell-O family of desserts.
J-E-L-L. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O puddings.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O tapioca puddings. Yes, sirree.
And now Lucille Ball with Richard Denning as Liz and George Cooper. Two people who live together and like it. As we look in on the Coopers this morning, the members of the household are in various stages of preparing for the new day. George is in the shower singing Old Man River. Katie the maid is getting breakfast, and Liz Cooper is just coming into the kitchen.
Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, Mrs. Cooper. Has Mr. Cooper finished his shower yet?
I don't think so. He's through toting the barge and lifting the bale, and he was getting a little drunk, so I guess he's just about landing in jail now. Oh, I hope he's in a good mood when he comes down. I have something terrible to tell George, something that will just break his heart.
Mrs. Cooper, you're not getting a divorce.
Oh, much worse than that. My mother is coming to visit us. Yes. And never mind the syrup on George's hotcakes. I'm going to be so sweet and sticky, he won't need it. Uh-oh, I hear him coming. I'll be in the breakfast room.
All right.
Katie, where's Mrs. Cooper?
She's in the breakfast room waiting for you.
Oh, I'm afraid to go in there. I've got to tell Liz my mother's coming to visit us. Oh, now, don't be like that, Katie. You can be thankful it's my mother, not her mother that's coming.
Yes, sir.
Well, might as well go in and see how nice I can be to her.
I wish I'd known about this earlier. I could have sold tickets. Breakfast will be ready in a few minutes.
Oh, man, river, dee-dee-da-da-da. Well, good morning, Liz, honey.
Why, if it isn't my big, wonderful, handsome husband. Kiss me, George, darling. Sweetheart, baby.
All right. How do you feel? My little honey baby doll, cream puff sugar.
Wait a minute. Who's putting it on for who here?
Well, Liz, I have something to tell you.
Well, that's funny. I have something to tell you, too.
Well, you tell me first, darling.
All right. I don't know how to put this, George, but... Well, I'm expecting a visitor. Pretty soon you're going to have another mouth to feed.
Liz, honey, that's wonderful. Oh, sit down. You have to take care of yourself now. How soon?
Well, she'll arrive the day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow?
Yes, on the Super Chief.
Liz, this is nothing to joke about. Imagine a patter of little feet around the house.
George, we're going to have the patter of big feet around the house. My mother is coming to visit us.
Your mother? I thought you were talking about a bundle from heaven. Boy, did I have the wrong location.
That is very humorous. What was your news?
Well, Liz, I don't know how to tell you, but I'm expecting a visitor, and you're going to have another mouth to feed.
Well, at least I can't misunderstand you the way you misunderstood me. George, you don't mean...
Yes, Liz. My mother is coming to visit us.
Oh, no. Well, George, there's only one thing to do. You have to tell your mother not to come.
I will not. You tell your mother not to come. After all, your mother visits us twice as often as my mother.
Well, it comes out even. Your mother's twice as repulsive as my mother.
Twice? Well, there isn't that much repulse in the world. Oh, now don't cry, Liz. Oh, please, Liz. Now let's be sensible. Come on, calm down. Now, what can we do about our mother's coming?
Well, we could put up sandbags and shoot it out with them.
Now, I'll make a deal with you. We'll send them each a telegram and tell them not to come.
Oh, what can we tell them? Oh, I know. How about this? Dear Mother, don't come now. House being closed while we fumigate for termites.
Liz, you're a genius. Send that to both of them.
Okay. Yes?
Western Union, 2 telegrams.
Oh, thank you. George, here are the telegrams from our little mamas.
What do they say?
Oh, this one's from my mother. Understand and will come later. Why do you have to fumigate? Just let George smoke one of his pipes. Ha ha.
Your mother has a great sense of humor. And look at the way she addressed it. Miss Liz Elliott.
Yeah.
You're married 10 years and she still calls you by your maiden name.
Mother's a hard loser.
Miss Liz Elliott.
Well, I don't know what you've got to get mad about. Look at the way your mother addressed her telegram. George Cooper and what's her name?
Now you're being silly. Let's see what she says. Sorry, am coming anyway. Wait and fumigate house after I leave.
She's right. It'll need it more then.
Liz.
What?
There's more.
Oh.
Please remove all flowers from house as I have a terrible allergy.
Oh, dear, and I just bought flowers today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, honey, you'll have to admit I tried to keep her from coming here, but, well, as long as she insists, I want you to promise me you'll be nice to her.
I'll treat her just the way she treats me.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, all right, George. I'll try to be nice to her. George, take your feet off the sofa.
Oops, sorry.
You know everything has to be perfect when your mother gets here, or I'll get a series of lectures on how to keep house.
Yeah. You know, she should be here by now. Maybe the train was late.
With your mother on board, it wouldn't dare. Uh-huh. I think I detect her gentle touch on the doorbell.
I'll get it. Mother!
George, my baby! How are you, dear?
Fine, Mother. Come in.
Oh, and it's wonderful to see you again, my little baby.
Hello, Mother Cooper.
George, let me look at you. My little baby boy.
Hello, Mother Cooper.
Oh, George, I had the most ghastly trip. It was unbearable. The train just crawled along, baby. It really did.
Oh, what a shame.
Hello, Mother Cooper.
Well, it's good to be here anyway. How I've looked forward to being with my little baby.
Well, I've looked forward to being with you, too, Mother.
Well, Elizabeth, I came all this way to see you. The least you could do is say hello.
Well, Liz, Mother's speaking to you. Why don't you answer her?
I don't trust myself.
Liz, Mother hasn't been here 10 minutes.
George, please. I'll keep things peaceful no matter what the sacrifice. Well, my dear, have you been taking good care of my little baby?
Yes, I have. I give him a bottle every 3 hours and change him every time he cries.
Liz.
I'm sorry, Mother Cooper. Yes, we've both been fine, thank you.
Good. Now, children, I brought you each a little gift.
See, Liz, she brought one for each of us.
Here's yours, George. Open it.
All right. Why, Mother, it's beautiful. Look, Liz, a solid gold cigarette case with my name engraved on it.
It's lovely.
And here's something for you, Liz.
Well, thank you, but you didn't have to bring me anything.
What is it, Liz?
Look, George, just what I've always wanted, a bottle of Airwick.
Well, my dear, George gives you so many luxuries. I thought you'd appreciate something practical. I use it myself.
Oh, really? What do? Put a little behind each ear?
Liz. There she goes again, Mother, making jokes.
Oh, never mind, George. I know Elizabeth resents me. I know exactly what she's thinking.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm thinking some words you never even heard of.
Elizabeth, believe me, I don't want to cause friction in your little home. I'm trying to think of you. For instance, I can't eat everything, but there's no reason why you should go to the trouble of cooking special meals for me.
That's right.
So we'll all go on my diet.
What?
What is your diet, Mother?
Raw vegetables and goat's milk.
Of all the nervy things I've ever...
Liz, can't you see she's only thinking of us?
Us!
Yes, she doesn't want to make extra work.
My dear, it's a wonderful diet, and it'll do you both good. George, you could stand to lose a few pounds, and Elizabeth could certainly stand to lose a few inches around the...
Hold it! Mother Cooper, you're welcome here as a guest. But I put my foot down when you start running my home. There will be no goat's milk in this house, and that's final.
Why, of course, dear. I wouldn't dream of forcing my desires on you.
Well, that's better.
More goat's milk, George.
No, thanks, Mother. I don't really care for it very much.
Well, you've only been drinking it a week. It's a taste that grows on you. I'll bet Elizabeth likes it, don't you, dear?
What did you say?
That's just what I might have expected.
Now, I think we'd better cut it out, Mother. Today at the bank, Mr. Atterbury leaned over the drinking faucet, and I found myself wanting to butt him.
George, Mother knows best.
Mother knows best. This is a point I'd like explained. Why does Mother always know best? I got a mother, too, and she hates goat's milk.
It's just a figure of speech, Elizabeth. As one grows older, one grows wiser.
Oh, well, then I better drink it because you must be the wisest woman in the world.
Well, are you going to sit there and let her call your mother a broken-down old hag?
That's not what she said.
It's what she was thinking.
It was not.
It was, too.
It was not.
George, Mother knows best.
See? This is the thanks I get for devoting my life to my children. I could have married again when your poor father died, but no.
Oh, Liz, why did you have to imply she was so old? Tell her you're sorry.
All right, Mother Cooper, I'm sorry you're so old.
Oh.
Mrs. Cooper, I quit. I don't have to put up with this.
Why, Katie, what's happened?
Mr. Cooper's mother was sneezing and wheezing around all morning, and finally she broke into my room and bawled me out because she found some roses there.
Well, Katie, you knew she was allergic to roses.
4 roses? Just 4 measly little roses the mailman gave me.
Well, don't worry, Katie. It works right in with my plan to make her leave. I went out and picked all the plants she's allergic to, mostly ragweed, and I hid it all over the house, under the pillows on the sofa, between the sheets on her bed, every place. Ain't I a stinker?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, she sneezed so much, George took her to see Dr. Boswell, and I'm sure he'll tell her she better go home. I'm so nervous waiting for her to come back. I'm all tingly and itchy. It's funny what your nerves can do to you, isn't it?
Oh, here comes Sneezy now.
Oh, where is everyone?
In the living room, Mother.
Oh, hello, Elizabeth, dear.
How do you feel? Awful?
No. Dr. Boswell sent me to a wonderful specialist, Dr. Stevenson. Oh, is he divine? And I think he likes me.
Well, what about your allergy?
He can cure it. If I stay here and take a shot every day, I'll be well in 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
That's all. Isn't that wonderful news?
6 weeks?
Well, I'll go in and get dressed. Dr. Stevenson is taking me out tonight.
6 weeks? Oh, Katie, I guess I better take this ragweed out from under the pillow.
Oh, Mrs. Cooper, do you still tingle an itch?
Yes, why?
That's not ragweed, it's poison ivy. Ow!
I'm just itching to hear more of this, but we will shortly. March 4th, 1949. My Favorite Husband on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of My Favorite Husband, March 4th, 1949.
Mother Cooper's visit is stretching on, and Mother has become a social butterfly. She's going out every night with Dr. Stevenson. And Liz and George are beginning to wonder when the butterfly is going back to her cocoon.
Where's she going tonight, Liz?
I don't know. Whenever I ask her where she's going or where she's been, all she does is giggle.
You know, I'm surprised. I thought Mother was past the stage of acting silly over a man.
George, your mother's just old, not dead.
Oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I found you. Oh, good evening, children.
Well, Mother, going out again?
That's right, dear.
Where are you going tonight?
That old place again?
Mother, when are we going to get a chance to meet this fellow?
Yes, I'd like to see what he looks like.
Well, one of these days I want you both to meet him. But
what?
Well, you see, Dr. Stevenson travels with socially prominent people.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Mother. You're not ashamed of Liz and me, are you?
Oh, no, dear boy, I'm not ashamed of you.
Well, who are you ashamed of?
Shake hands with Liz Cooper, girl outcast.
Oh, Liz, you're just being sensitive. Mother doesn't mean you, do you, Mother?
Yes.
George, I haven't told you this before, but it has to come out in self-defense. Now, I don't want to brag, but when it comes to royal blood, brother, my family is loaded.
Really? What royalty do you have in your blood?
Lord Calvert.
Well, now you can see, George, why I refused when Dr. Stevenson asked us all to come to dinner tomorrow night. If she acted like this at his house, I'd be so...
Oh, well, don't worry. I wouldn't go now if it was...
Quiet, both of you. Now, listen to me. We're going to the doctor's tomorrow night.
But, son...
George!
We're going, and I don't want to hear another word about it. You understand?
Yes, son.
Yes,
Oh,
George.
women. Oh.
Elizabeth, may I see you a moment?
What is it, Mother Cooper?
About dinner tonight. I want to run over a few things with you.
Such as what?
Well, this means a good deal to me, and I want to be sure you'll conduct yourself properly.
Well, don't worry. I know which knife to eat my peas with.
Now, Elizabeth, I simply want to review what will happen.
All right, go ahead.
Now, when we arrive, the butler will take your coat, and I will introduce you to Dr. Stevenson. I want you to politely shake his hand.
Well, I'm glad you told me that. I was thinking of biting him on the leg.
I'm only trying to help you. You can always learn from a more experienced person, and I have a tremendous background.
Well, stay on that diet and it'll go away.
Oh, I just know you're going to ruin everything.
Well, put your mind at ease. I wouldn't go now if my life depended on it.
Liz, I'm asking you for the last time. Please come to the dinner with us.
No.
But I think we should both meet this man. Mother is serious about him, Liz. She may even marry him.
Oh, no. Do you think so, George? I just changed my mind. I'll be right down. Now, don't go without me.
That's better. I'll wait downstairs with Mother.
Oh, this could be good. This could be bad. March 4th, 1949, Lucille Ball, Richard Denning, and B. Benadera as George's mother. My Favorite Husband. I'm Wyatt Cox. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, and the conclusion follows these important messages. Listen.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Thanks so much for listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Is George's mother going to stay in town? Uh-oh. March 4th, 1949, My Favorite Husband.
Katie, come here. Help me get dressed. I'm going.
I'm coming, Mrs. Cooper. Well, why did you change your mind so suddenly?
I have to break up a romance. Do you realize if Mother Cooper marries that doctor, she'll live right here in town all the time? Well, that's how I feel, too.
What can you do?
Katie, I'm afraid I'm not going to be a lady tonight. I'm going to do everything Mother Cooper is afraid I might do and more.
No.
Yes. That ought to discourage the doc, and I'll load myself with perfume. Hand me some, will you, Katie?
Which one?
Schlemiel number 5, hey.
Now, please, Elizabeth, try to be...
Don't worry, Mother. Everything will be all right.
Well, Letitia, come in, come in. I let the butler take the evening off so we could have a cozy little family group.
Well, I'd like you to meet my little family, Griswold. This is my son, George.
How do you do?
How do you do?
And this is my dear little daughter-in-law, Elizabeth.
How do you do? I'm certainly pleased to meet you.
Likewise, I'm sure.
Won't you come in?
Say, this sure is a classy hangout you got here, Sawbones. A real first-class joint.
There she goes, being droll. All the time, those little jokes. Though she's really quite a darling when you get to know her.
Cut the gaff, Grandma. When do we put on the feed bag, huh?
Oh.
Liz, I'd like to speak to you in the hall.
Wait a minute, Buster. Say, Doc, as long as we're here, would you please take a look at my throat?
Liz, whatever you're doing, cut it out.
Perhaps it would be better if we went in and ate.
Yes. Help me, George.
Yes, and Mrs. Cooper, would you take my arm for dinner?
Sure, but I'd rather have a steak. Boy, that's a hot one, ain't it, Doc? Hey, where'll I sit? Right here?
Oh, no, don't sit next to the doctor. I'll sit on your right hand, and George will sit on your left hand.
Well, how'll I eat? Out of a nose bag? I did it again, eh, Sawbones?
Well, Griswold, let's talk about you and your busy life. What's new?
Liz, stop wiping the silverware on your skirt.
Oh, it's all right. My dress needs cleaning anyway. Hey, what's all that stuff that dame is passing around?
The maid is serving lamb.
Well, what's the matter with it? It's turning green already.
That's mint jelly.
What's it for?
The lamb.
What?
Take it on the lamb.
I know it. The joint's been raided.
Oh, I've never been so humiliated. Well, you certainly succeeded in making a fool of me.
Oh, now, Letitia.
Don't worry, Griswold. We're leaving. I'm sorry we ruined your evening.
Nonsense. I love it. I think Liz is wonderful.
What?
She's obviously just having fun with a phony Bronx accent like that.
Phony? What do you mean?
Look, my dear, I have to keep up a big front to get society patience. But it's not too long ago since I came from Brooklyn myself.
No kidding, hey!
Sure, I'm from Flatbush already. Oh, you don't know how relieved I am that this is the kind of family I'm marrying into.
Oh, no, wait a minute, Doc. I wasn't kidding. I'm awful. Wait till you get to know me. I'm a real slob.
It's no use, Mrs. Cooper. I like you.
Oh. George, wake up.
Huh? What is it?
I was just thinking how peaceful it is with your mother gone.
Now, Liz. Yeah, I guess it is worthwhile to wake up and realize we're alone again.
Your mother's so funny. As soon as she found out the doctor was from Brooklyn and liked me, she couldn't stand him, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. George, the doorbell. Who could it be at this hour of the night?
I'll go down and see. I hope nothing's wrong.
Never mind, Katie's answering it.
Mrs. Cooper?
Yes, Katie, who's at the door?
At your new house guest.
Katie, you don't mean...
Yes, Mrs. Cooper, your mother just arrived.
Oh!
You have been listening to My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning, and based on characters created by Isabel Scott Rorick. Tonight's program was produced and directed by Jess Oppenheimer, who wrote the script with Madeline Pugh and Bob Carroll Jr. Original music was composed by Marlon Skiles and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The part of Katie the maid was played by Ruth Parrott. Lucille Ball will soon be seen in the Paramount picture Sorrowful Jones. Be sure to listen to Lucille Ball in My Favorite Husband next week. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You notice B. Benadera was not credited there, nor was the doctor, Gail Gordon. And, of course, Gail Gordon and B. Benadera, later on in the show's run, would become regulars as the Atterberries. And, of course, Mr. Atterbury was Richard Denning's employer at the bank. Lucille Ball, Richard Denning, My Favorite Husband, March 4th, 1949, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you. And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required. Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, another episode of Captain Midnight. In this episode of the show, originally broadcast March 4th, 1940.
The Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you 3 times each week by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. And now to Captain Midnight. Steve has just landed on Ridgeville Airport with a special new streamlined cabin plane for Captain Midnight. It's late at night, and the plane is standing in front of the passenger station. Steve, Captain Midnight, and Patsy Donovan are discussing means of rescuing Chuck from Ivan Shark's power when a telegraph messenger boy is heard calling out the name Captain Albright. Called over, he delivers a telegram to Captain Midnight. The famous pilot has just opened the envelope, but before reading the message, he tells Steve and Patsy that the telegram is signed Ivan Shark. Listen as Patsy exclaims,
Captain, you mean to say that telegram is from Ivan Shark?
But that's just what you expected, isn't it?
Well, I didn't know how it would come, but I felt sure Ivan Shark would communicate with me.
What does the telegram say?
Now, listen, I'll read it to you. Chuck Ramsey and Frank Crane are my honored guests and will continue to be until I understand you do not wish their return. I would be more than glad to discuss the matter with you on your usual radio wavelength at the next hour of 12 p.m., following your receipt of this message. And it's signed Ivan Shark.
Well, can you tie that?
So this means we start to work at once.
But gosh, Captain Midnight, what are you going to do?
Listen, we don't know who may be listening to us. Let's get into the Spartan. We'll talk things over there.
Good idea. Come on.
There you are, Patsy.
Thanks a lot.
All right, now then. I don't believe anyone can overhear us here.
No, we're okay here. But look, what about this offer of Sharks to discuss the matter with you? You going to talk with them on the radio?
I most certainly am, Steve.
Jiminy Crickets, it's 15 minutes after 12 now. You don't have to talk to Ivan Shark for almost 24 hours.
Yes, and that's a good thing, because it gives us time to make plenty of preparations.
Well, I guess your theory was right, Captain. Shark is going to strike at you where it will hurt the most, through Chuck.
Yes, Steve. There's no question of that.
Oh, gosh, Captain Midnight, we've just got to rescue Chuck and Frank Crane, too.
We're going to do everything in our power, Patsy, and don't forget this. There are certain things I can't do.
You mean to make a bargain with Ivan Shark?
No, it isn't that, Patsy. I can make a bargain with Ivan Shark, but it can't be a dishonorable one. And I'll bet that I can guess what his offer will be.
Oh, what's that?
He wants to be left alone. Now, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Ivan Shark wants immunity. My promise to let him alone.
Well, of course, you couldn't give him such a promise, but if you did, would he believe your word?
Yes, Steve, he would. He knows that's the one fundamental difference between him and me. When I give my word, I keep it.
Well, anyway, that's out. You can't promise to let Shark go unmolested. The question is, what are we going to do?
Some way, somehow, we've got to find and rescue Chuck and young Crane. And the one thing that might defeat us, Steve, is the time. If I can stall Ivan Shark off long enough, I believe we have a good chance. Otherwise, not.
Well, how can you stall him off? It's almost a cinch he's going to place a time limit for your acceptance of his proposition.
Yes, that's what he'll do. But we've got to find logical excuses to make this time limit as long as possible.
But gosh, Captain Midnight, Ivan Shark isn't any fool. He knows you will try to find Chuck and rescue him.
Of course he knows that, Patsy. He evidently is completely confident that we won't be successful.
Yeah, and that's what makes it look pretty tough.
Of course it's tough, Steve. This is one of the toughest situations I have ever been up against in my life. But I'm going to lick it.
What are you going to do first?
Now, the first thing is to make preparations for this radio conversation with Shark tomorrow night.
Listen, if you and he are going to have a radio conversation, that means he'll have to have a transmitter.
I'm way ahead of you, Steve. That's the first thing we're going to do. We'll find out the point from which his radio message is coming.
How are you going to do that?
By triangulation. Now, as far as we know, Ivan Shark was flying a northwest course when he left here. We have every reason to believe that he would avoid the Pacific coast in the Middle West. That means he will continue north along the Rocky Mountains. By this time, he may be up in Canada. But at any rate, I'm going to arrange for 2 listening posts. One on the Pacific coast, one on the Middle West. When we have my radio conversation with Ivan Shark, these posts will be listening to the conversation. They'll turn their movable antenna to the compass position where the signal strength of Ivan Shark's transmitter is the loudest.
Gosh, I see the whole thing. Chuck explained it to me one time.
Yes, Chuck knows all about that method. That fact may be a great help to us, too. At any rate, these 2 listening posts will telegraph us the compass reading where the signal strength was greatest. Then we'll have a large map. We'll draw a line from each listening post in the direction of the compass reading.
And those 2 lines will have to meet at one point.
Exactly. And the intersection of those 2 lines will be the location of Ivan Shark's transmitter.
In other words, the point from which Ivan Shark is sending us his radio messages.
Right.
Gee, that's swell. And if you know the point from which Ivan Shark is talking, then you know where Chuck is.
No, you don't, Patsy. You underestimate Shark. He knows perfectly well we'll triangulate his transmitter.
Well, in that case, he mustn't be afraid to let you know the point from which he's talking.
Well, on the face of it, it would look like that. But nevertheless, we may get some valuable information from it. Even though Shark can be talking to us from one place, while Chuck and Frank Crane are at another.
Gosh, that's right.
Yes, and another thing. Ivan Shark may have an unusually powerful transmitter in his plane. He could talk to us while in the air.
And in that case, he'd be moving all the time.
That's right.
Gee, it doesn't look as though it's any use to triangulate his position after all.
Well, now, don't forget, Patsy. We've got to do everything we can.
There's another thing, too.
Yes?
We've got to be sure and copy down every word Ivan Shark says.
Yes, Steve, that's very important. That's going to be your duty, Patsy. We've got to copy down the whole conversation exactly as it takes place. You mustn't miss one word.
Gosh, Captain Midnight, I can do that. I had shorthand at high school, and I was one of the best in the class.
No, that's fine. Now, I've got to get to the telegraph office and arrange for the listening post.
And I'll put the plane in the hangar.
Right.
Oh, but there's one thing more.
Yes?
Where are we going to be when you talk to Ivan Shark?
In this plane, Steve. We'll take off and climb up to about 12,000 feet. This cabin is well soundproofed. I think the reception will be good at night. I'll meet you both in the lunchroom in half an hour. So long, and I'll hurry back.
Our scene now changes to Chuck Ramsey and Frank Crane. They are huddled together in the rear compartment of Ivan Shark's powerful bimotored plane. The engines sing a monotonous tune as the ship forges on through the air. Listen as Chuck says,
I guess that's what Ivan Shark did all right, Frank. He landed to send a message to Captain Midnight.
Yeah, now the question is, where will he land the next time?
If my guess is right, the next time we land, it'll be for good.
You mean it'll be the place where he's going to keep us?
Yes, it'll be his headquarters until he finds out what Captain Midnight is going to do.
Hey, Chuck, we're flying north. I'm sure of it. It's early in the morning now. It isn't 7 o'clock yet, is it?
No, it's 5 minutes to 7.
And through this crack in the center of the floor, I can see the shadows made by the ridges and hills. We know the sun is in the east, and the shadows all go toward the west. And we know which way the ship is pointed in relation to the shadows.
It's north, all right. There isn't any doubt about it. And judging by the length of time we've been flying, I think we must be over Canada.
Boy, it's sure a wild country down below. I can tell you that. What are you looking so puzzled about?
Oh, I'm racking my brains to try and figure out a way to get a message to Captain Midnight.
Well, maybe. Hey, didn't you tell me, Chuck, that Shark will have to talk to Captain Midnight by radio?
Yes, I think so. Well, in fact, radio is the only safe way for Shark to talk to Captain Midnight.
Oh, I was just thinking that maybe Shark will let you say something to Captain Midnight just to actually prove you're alive.
Blazing beacons, Frank. You've hit on a swell idea. Now, I'll tell Ivan Shark that he's got to let me speak to Captain Midnight over the radio so as to convince Captain Midnight that I'm actually alive.
Yeah, and that we're in Shark's power.
Now then, if Shark will let me speak to Captain Midnight, how can I say something to Captain Midnight that'll give him a clue as to where we are?
Oh, gosh, that'd be awful tough to do. Because Shark would be listening to every word you're saying. And besides, we don't know where we are ourselves.
I know. It looks impossible, but I'm going to try it just the same.
Hey, what's that you're looking at? That thing in your hand?
Oh, it's a coin, Frank. A sort of good luck piece. Captain Midnight has one just like it. See, it's got a 3-bladed propeller on it.
Oh, yeah. And what's that strange word on it?
That word is Kobrelhofer, and it means a lot of swell things. Here, maybe you can figure them out for yourself.
Oh, gosh, what kind of things?
Oh, good qualities, like courtesy, for example. You see... Hey, wait. I've got an idea. Courtesy and Kobrelhofer both start with the same two letters, C and O.
Well, go on, Chuck. What are you getting at?
Well, Captain Midnight has one of these coins, too, and so has Patsy Donovan. So maybe I can figure out a message using this coin. Using this word, Kobrelhofer, so they would get what I'm driving at.
Oh, gee, Chuck, that's a great idea.
Well, the first thing to do is to find out where we are. That is, when we get there. Watch it, Frank. Someone's at the door.
Oh, I wonder what's going to happen now.
Chuck Ramsey, you come with me.
What do you want?
My master, Ivan Shark, wished to speak to you. You come along, forward.
Keep your chin up, Frank. I'll be back soon. All right, Fang. Lead the way.
Chuck Ramsey and Frank Crane are indeed faced with a difficult problem. If Ivan Shark allows Chuck to speak to Captain Midnight, how can Chuck give Captain Midnight a secret message with Ivan Shark listening to his every word? Don't miss the exciting radio conversation between Ivan Shark and Captain Midnight. Tune in to Captain Midnight. Say, do you know how many airlines there are in the United States? Do you know what routes they fly? What cities they serve? Do you know what kind of airplanes they use and all the important facts about them? Well, all these things are on Captain Midnight's big airline map of the United States. Boy, it's a big wall map, printed in 3 colors, 11 inches high and 17 inches wide. It's absolutely free to members of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol. And if you don't belong now, you can join free at your Skelly service station and get your free airlines map right away. So stop and see your Skelly man the next time you're out riding in the family car. Tell him you want your Captain Midnight airline map, and he'll give you your free copy right on the spot. Remember, it's absolutely free to every member. So if you're not a member now, join tonight. And don't forget to tune in again Wednesday, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight. Brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Can Chuck send some kind of a message to Captain Midnight? And what is Ivan Shark going to do next? Exciting events are ahead. Be sure to listen Wednesday. Until then, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and happy landing!
Now, even if you find a Skelly gas station, they're not going to have the maps, so don't even ask. Okay, March 4th, 1940, Captain Midnight here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit my webpage, it's there, or at least it was 30 minutes ago, classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and contact me. classicradio.stream. If you like your apps, you can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Amazon. Their Audible app. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. It's free. I'm Wyatt Cox. Please thank this station, support their advertisers, and tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.